Good morning. Good morning, James. How are you? Hey, Big Tank Hank. Hope you all are having a good morning. Let's see. Adjust this a little bit. Oh, that's too high. Oh, that's too high. Oh, that's too high. Hey, Mr. B. Good morning. I had a little time on my hands, so I was like, well, no grandkids. I was like, let me just live stream and see how everybody's doing this Saturday morning. So here I am. Looks a little dark in here than usual, but that's better. How's everybody doing? I had a cute little, um, hey Pond. I had a cute little, actually it was my Valentine's Day card from my husband that I was going to use as my thumbnail, but for whatever reason, YouTube wanted to skew it. So scrapped it and just used my logo. How's everybody doing? Hope you had a great, if you celebrated, hope you had a great Valentine's Day. I did. Got to sleep in a little bit. 9 o'clock is sleeping in for me. So, hey, Sand Creek, welcome. Um, so I slept in a little bit, and here I am. So this is my water change day. I'll be starting my water changes soon. I'm trying to decide. So my LFS had some forktail rainbows. Trying to decide if I'm gonna go get them or not. Trying to decide. What do you all think? I love dwarf rainbows. I just think. I mean, I love rainbows too, but I would especially have created a or gathered or all of a sudden I just love the little dwarf rainbows. I love it when they flash and just show off. And so I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go to my LFS, which is like this particular one is like 30 minutes away. I'm going to go get them and add them to my tanks. Hey, Zen Ginger, welcome. Good morning. Yeah, because I don't know. Just feel like I want to buy some fish. I should go to the other LFS. I haven't been there in a while. So the one I go to the most, where I get like my black worms and everything, is like 5 minutes from my job. So it makes it really convenient. The other one, um, which has great selection, a little bit different, who was actually, good morning, Travans. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. World of Reptiles. Morning. The other one has a really good selection, and it's Gerber's, which was initially a wholesaler and then went retail a couple of years ago. They do have a really good selection, totally different setup. They have a lot of salt. Both places have a lot of salt. Matter of fact, so the one was a wholesaler for both salt and fresh, and the other one was actually a saltwater and then went into freshwater. So yeah, so I'm trying to decide. Glad to see you are well. Thank you. Glad you're here. Thank you so much for coming. If you have a moment, please remember to hit that like button. 5 likes. Thank you very much. Um, you got a question, Brandon, Mr. B? No, it's not. It's not. I do these improv. Hey, Big Easy, good morning. I do these impromptu streams. Now, I will be doing my traditional Thursday night, which reminds me this Thursday I will not be streaming because of Jay Aquafunk and Father Fish. Jay will be speaking at Father Fish's Fish Club this Thursday night at 7. So I will not be streaming. I will be watching and enjoying the night off. Let's see, anybody else come in? No, so this is impromptu stream. First of all, let me just do a big old thank you um, to Mr. B for always. Okay, I'll make note about this Thursday. Okay, thank you, Mr. B. To Mr. B for all the work that he puts into posting those live streams. That helps me a great deal because I don't know if anybody else in the fish fam is or fish community is streaming this morning, but first thing I did was because I don't want to step on any toes, of course, which is hard not to do, but it's always to be mindful about if others are streaming. So thank you, Mr. B, for all your hard work in the FishTuber Notification Squad. If you are not a member, it's a great place to be able to get to follow new channels. We try to support new channels, some channels that are old that we're just not aware of. So we post little gems and things like that, and it's a great way to support other fish tubers and sometimes just YouTubers in the community. So thank you, Mr. B, for all your hard work. We really appreciate it. It's very helpful. So yeah, so today I'm just gonna, since I'm looking, the Saturday live stream lineup, I see Mob Guppy at 1 o'clock, Alien World Aquatics at 4, Aquamate at 7, and then King and Queen Cichlids. Aquamate at 7, and then King and Queen Cichlids at 7. So I'll let you all figure that one out. Yeah, so thank you, Mr. B, for all your hard work. It is truly appreciated. Um, yes, we try. We try. I especially like the FishTuber Notification Squad because we're able to highlight, like if you just run across somebody um, that's new or, that hasn't posted a lot but has some nice tanks or young YouTubers just starting out to be able to support them. So that group is very supportive. So if you have not joined, I recommend you join. It's a Facebook group, and so yeah, we oftentimes as I'm surfing around on the YouTube platform, I do find people and I try to post and support. And we all do. And so it's really helpful. So thank you so much, Mr. B. But back to the my LFS. So I have two LFS that are close to me, and my plan is to, once the weather breaks, go to some not local, but some LFSs which are closer to me. I've visited them, but I've never filmed there. One is, I think, the one I visited when I was in Columbus, Ohio, was Aquatic Adventures, I think it's called, in Hilliard. That was a really nice store. I'm trying to think. I think it was Primetime Aquatics. Was it Primetime Aquatics? Someone did a fish store tour of that store. It's really, really nice. Well put together. Prices were very reasonable too, because at the time I was looking for glass tops for my 55, and I thought the prices were really good. And so, yeah. And then there's a couple down in Cincinnati, which is a little bit closer to me, um, that I'd like to visit as well. So hopefully I can do that. I am now, for those of you who are not aware, um, I'm not going to make it to Akashela. I don't think. I'm trying to decide because I know Candy's going to be there, and I love to meet Candy in person. So that is still in the, up there going around. But I really would like to go to ALA, and which is American Live Breeders Association. And I'm going to tell you the dates here in a minute. So I've been looking at flights there, and the reason why that particular one stuck out to me, even though I do have family in Chicago, is because I've been meaning to go visit some family members I want to check on, that I haven't seen in a few years. And they are in that area where ALA is going to be. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can bring that up so I can tell you guys the dates. Hmm. Come on, come on, come on. So I have no notes, so I'm kind of doing this off the cuff. Love the new plecos, James. James got new plecos. Awesome. That's a fish I've never kept. Um, okay, of course we're gonna make it hard for me to find this. It's giving me all kind of crap. Okay, I'll put that in. I was just looking at it, but I was looking at it on my other computer. So of course, American. Come on, live breeders. Just talk amongst yourselves. Because now that I brought this up, this convention, Colombian zebra plecos. Oh, okay, zebra plecos. Are those pretty expensive? Is that L64, L46? Is that what that is? This is not cooperating. Google is not my friend this morning. Okay, try this one more time, then I'm gonna give up. I know what the name of it is. Someone hide them. Wait a minute. Oh boy. Okay, so somebody wants to come in and clown this morning. Hmm. I had a couple of mods here. Big Easy. Big Easy, what you doing? Zen, you are now a moderator. Okay. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. People don't have nothing better to do. That's probably the person that always gives me a thumbs down. Obviously, they follow me. They have a problem with my origin or what they think my origin is. So shame on them. It's okay. All right, Mark. So anyway, Mr. B, you are now moderator. So thank you uh, for bringing that to my attention. But anyway, whoever that person is, God bless them. You know, I'm not even going to be angry. People they just do what they do. Okay, so they knew I wasn't paying attention, that I was distracted. Let's try this one more time. So apparently, when you put in ALA, you get the American Library Association. God, cheesy Pete. Oh my goodness. One more try. Well, anyway, I can't remember what the dates are, but and I can't find it, and I'm about ready to give up. So I can't remember what the dates are. Um, I want to say I don't even remember the dates. Anyway, so I wanted to end the phone. Sorry about that. No, it's okay. Someone didn't get. Yeah, James, somebody obviously is just, I mean, to just go to a stream just to troll somebody like that, it's like that's your heart, you know. It's unfortunate. But you know, there are people out there that that's their life. That's all they have to do. So okay. I really want to get this date. So I ask you all for your patience. Thank you, Zen. Thanks you. Thank you so much. So it is in June. So I really want to try to go. Right now, flights are pretty reasonable, but I know once the weather changes, they'll go up. It's near the Miami area, and so I have a lot of family in that area. And one in particular, my one cousin, I really want to go and visit her. I have not seen her. She's one of my favorite cousins, and so I thought, you know, maybe I should go down there. Hey, Redfish, Bluefish, good morning. Yeah, so let me do a little shout out to Redfish Bluefish. I enjoy I think it was the second or third part of your tissue culture video. I was totally just enamored with it. It's just so interesting, just that process. I mean, we go to the store, we see these little cups, we get them, not knowing that that was a lot. That was very intense. And just your sterilization methods and your um, the processes you were doing. That was really awesome, awesome. And I know I may be behind, but good morning. I may be behind on maybe behind on videos, but I definitely would like to see that. That was just really interesting. Um, and just really I was just totally captivated with it, how the whole process works. So good job, great work. A lot of us, that type of content. So first of all, I am an amateur botanist. I love, you're welcome. And so I love plants. Rob 93, good morning. How are you? Hope you're well. Thanks for sending the picture of that little cutie patootie. I love seeing her. She brightens my day. And so just seeing just that whole process. I'm an amateur botanist. I have plants all over my house, none in this room. This is my husband's office. Um, but I keep all kind of plants. Lately, I've gotten into succulents. And I really, hey, Aquatic Ness, Aquatic Boo, hello, how are you, Nessa Boo? Um, so, just plants in general, I love, always have. Actually, as a high schooler, I went to visit a college, did a college tour. They had a huge greenhouse, and I told my dad when I got home that I was going to go to that school just because it had this huge greenhouse, because I was just so fascinated by it. So when it comes to aquatic plants, I tell people all the time. Matter of fact, I was talking to my coworkers about it because one of my coworkers was like, "Oh my God, I was watching a video," and she came into my office and she was like, "Oh my God, that tank is so beautiful. Well, look at the beautiful plants." And I said, "Yeah, I keep planting." She wasn't talking about my tank, but the one I was looking at. And she was like, "Oh my God, look at those beautiful plants." And she said, "Do you have plants in your tanks?" And I told her yes. And so I showed her some photos of my tanks, and she was like, "Oh my God, that's so beautiful." And I was telling her that just another succulents are a real fave of mine too. I'm with you. Yeah, they've I've just been seeing a lot of succulents lately in this area. I don't know what that's about. And they were fairly the little bitty, probably about 1 inch cups. They were very reasonable too, so you could amass quite a variety of them, and they look really good in little groupings. But anyway, and so I just told her that who's having an omelet. Hello, everyone. Hey, hey, Heaven Bound Farms. Thanks for coming. Hope I haven't missed anybody between the troll and me trying to find this ALA date. I was a little distracted, but anyway, so having planted tanks is another place for me to have plants, and so I've amassed quite a collection. Of course, in my let me see what live stream. I've live streamed 3 times this week, so trying to keep up with which live stream it was. It might have been my Thursday night. I showed that I got some new crenums, which I do love crenums. They do really warm up well in my water. And of course, the Thursday night live stream was about, just to recap, was about, you know, Gotta feed Maple Street. Okay. Um, was about water perimeters and the plants you keep. So, um, since I've been to a water changes about you. Yeah, it's Saturday. A lot of people's water change Wednesday and water change Saturday. Anyway, and so I was talking about in that video, as the title shows, like if you are failing with certain plants or with plants in general, not plants in general, it may not be anything that you're doing wrong, it just may be your water. And so we all know that a lot of us have regular tap water from municipality. Ours is actually I live in an area that has a lot of rivers, and so we have a huge aquifer, and that's where most of our water comes from. Now it's really good water, but there's something in it that does not agree with certain plants, in particular Vallisneria. I can't grow Val to save my life. I have purchased and purchasing, and oh, well, maybe this or maybe that, maybe the fish ate it. The ones that were in my angelfish tank, um, bare bottom tanks. Watch one, two, three. Um, thank you very much. This is one of my favorite shirts. Um, and so, yeah, so it may be something more than it may be more than just what you're doing or the plant being coming in a bad state. One of the things I do look for when I'm buying plants, or one thing that I do like is I like to see a great root ball or root structure. I think that's a good start. If I see plants that don't have a lot of roots when I get them in, that's usually something that has a little concern. Always trying to see what we talking about and get from. I'm just trying to follow the chat. I wasn't following the chat, and the troll came in here and called me a very bad names. But now that I have more mods here, hopefully that won't happen again. Anyway, squirrel. So yeah, so I look for plants that have a good root structure. That tends to give me pause when I buy plants that are in the cups because I can't see the roots. And sometimes they're just stuck down in that rock wool, I guess it's called. And so, I mean, you can look at the plant from the top, see that it has really good foliage or whatever, but being able to see that root structure, I think, is very important. So, seeing the plants that come from um, certain vendors um, really makes a big difference for me. And I think that's one of the reasons why I have been kind of buying more from KJE, Keith at KJE Aquatics. Check him out. He's on YouTube and Facebook because when he does his unboxings, I can see the roots. And sometimes, I can just say to him, I want this particular plant. And when I saw those big crenums, I particularly was looking at the root structure. So that's something to think about. Hey, Bob. Good morning. Bob was streaming late. I had you watching running last night, Bob, while I was doing my Valentine's Day activities. Um, so that was a good stream. I was also um, love to see that new puffer you have, Char. And so, with that said, while I'm talking about it, we are viewing Bob Kaler's and Rob 93's playlist. So if you don't have them, please show them some love for love, so we can help them get to their goals. These are two great supporters of mine. I am supporting them as well. and I appreciate everything we do. And also, with that said, if one of my moderators wants to post Candy Overhauls GoFundMe, we are still raising money for Candy. This is an ongoing process. Um, and if you go to the GoFundMe page, you can see where we are. No amount is too small, so please remember to support. Candy is a great supporter of this community, and we want to make sure that we're supporting her as she goes through this very difficult time, and make sure we show her love. And like I said, if you are concerned, like if you don't have a lot to give, that's okay. You can give anonymously, and please do so. I appreciate it. Um, so I decided, and I need to do that because I'm procrastinating to actually, instead of doing my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, is to donate. Actually, it was going to initially be split up between her and Aquafunk, but Aquafunk has since shut down his GoFundMe, and so all of that money that I would have been using to buy gift certificates will now go to Candy. So thank you so much. Um, so there's that. Oh, we were talking about ALA, American Library Association's convention. I think Zen Ginger posted the link. So if anybody is in that area, that I really want to go to Chicago. Like I said, because I do want to meet Candy, and she will be there. However, my cousin down in Florida, I really need to go check on her. So I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna do both. Chicago isn't that far from me, so that's a drive. So it will probably be easier for me, and I do have family there, so it won't be that great of an expense. So I have really tried to like dial back some of my activities. I didn't take a vacation last year. I need to get a new car, and I now have, if you all don't know, I am now, and as you saw on my Wednesday live stream, I have custody of a 5-year-old. And so that has really not, it's not a big impact financially, but it is somewhat because there's just certain things that I had to do to be able to make sure I can support him the best I can. And so that takes some. Diva Candy is in real need right now. She won't ask, but her need and the family's need are great right now. As when I first stated the to go for me. That's right, Bob. So please, guys, and I'm going to take time this weekend and make sure that I make that donation as well. So thank you for all of you who recommended that we do that as opposed to a giveaway. We can do giveaways and things like that. So please, if you can, support Candy and Stacy and Caleb. Like Bob said, there's a great need, and we all know that Candy moderates and does an amazing job and gives selflessly to the community as far as her supporting and posting links and doing things like that. Even let's be real, your real problem is going to be keeping that boy off. Okay, so I had to edit my video because apparently he has been picking up some bad habits from his cousins. Had to have a talk with both of them yesterday about that. Yes, keeping him off camera. Yeah, well, plus he likes being on camera. So I had to edit that video because he was being very naughty behind my back. I don't condone that. Yeah. So Anyway, jumping in the video, yeah, he was in and out. He was everywhere. Oh snap, Bob, party at Bob. What? Same diva, no vacay for 20 years. When I do cut loose, watch out. Okay, Bob. Bob's going, Bob cuts loose. We better watch out. Shaking my head. Kids be a mess. Yes, they are. And he's so 5-year-olds. What I'm learning, relearning, are in between toddlers and adolescents. They're discovering, they're very curious because the whys, I could sit down and do a tick marks for whys. I get why all day long. Why am I? Why do I? Why? They're very emotional, very sensitive. So they want to be big kids, but then when they get their feelings hurt, they cry like a toddler. So it's like a very delicate dance and balance to kind of keep them motivated. They don't like school. They love school. They hate school. That's what I'm going through right now. I love school. And then the next minute I hate school. And it's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's quite the challenge. Now all my kids are grown. Um, and I have my youngest grandchild is 3. So they go from my oldest grandchild, 16, going to be 17 this year. My youngest grandchild is 3. But being around a child full time again, having to learn, having to set boundaries, it's been quite the journey. But I can do it because I come from a good stop, if I must say myself. So it's been a little bit of a challenge. We've had to change schools, and now he's in uniform, so we had to buy a uniform. So there's just little things that I've had to do, which I was really not prepared for. This was a last minute situation. Um, I won't go into details, but it wasn't. This little boy has been through a lot, and not at the hands of my family, but he's still been through a lot. So there's some things that we have to do to be able to support him and make sure that he is the impact from what he's been through um, is limited, or how do I put that? I think limited will be a good word. I can't think of another word. I might need some more coffee. But anyway, and so that with that said, that has changed a lot of my ability to do certain things. But we do what we do. I am all about family. I come from a very strong family, deeply rooted, traditional um, family, which some people don't come from traditional families. That's fine. My Hey, good morning, Amber. Welcome. Good to see you. Hey, Rouse Aquatics and Reptiles. Thank you for coming. Yes, Big Rich. Oh, thank you, Bob. Of course, we are still praying for Tracy. I did read Rich's update. That's one of the first things I look at every morning to see if he's posted an update on Tracy. We are still praying for Tracy. Um, just really happy. So I guess their channel was down for a while. They've got their channel back up. So hopefully that will be helpful for them. So continue to keep Tracy in your prayers. It seems like I just kind of read it very quickly, that they are seeing some progress, that she's actually more responsive. It's funny because Rich talked about her hair being in a ponytail. I guess she likes to wear her hair down, but um, the medical professionals, it's just a lot easier on them to be able to support her with her hair up. And then he said he bought her a cookware set, which I thought that was really sweet. So let's continue to keep them in our prayers and our thoughts and send them warm wishes and healing light to Tracy of Ohio Fish Rescue. Thank you so much, Bob, for bringing that up as I ramble. Great that they got the channel back. Yes, that's good that they got their channel back. Let's see. I just hit up. Amber beta breeding is. Yeah, so Rob 93, Fish Keeping Jamaica, and Aquafunk have this beta breeding project, which I think is just really exciting. Something I could never do because I can't do all those little. I can't handle all that. So for Amber, Big City Betas, and for Rob and Funk and Riley, I have a lot of respect for you guys because I would never be able to take that on. That would be just too much. So good luck, guys. I'm rooting for you all. Looking forward to seeing those little fried running around and those. Yeah, looking forward to that. Let's see who's victorious. Mom Amber at Big City Betas. Yeah, so anyway, so I'm trying to decide. What do you guys think? I don't know. And for those of you who don't know, I found 3 tiger shrimp in my tiger shrimp tank that I thought all had perished. They hide really good. There's a lot going on in that tank, a lot of plants, um, driftwood, cholla wood, leaves, whatever. So those, I don't know if they come out in the middle of the night while I'm asleep, but I thought those shrimp were gone. I've talked about it in my videos, how sad I was in my live streams, how sad I was that I had lost those shrimp. And while I was drip acclimating, trying to save one of my shipments, all of a sudden I see this tiger shrimp like sitting on the piece of driftwood, and I'm like totally baffled. So I'm doing a video on it. I had did some video, recorded some video, but it's just not enough. After I did all the edits to really publish, it was only like 2 minutes. I like to at least do 5 minutes. So as I'm doing water changes, I will video, try to get some more footage to show you them guys. But they hide really good. Seems like whenever I walk up to the tank, they go, here she comes. And they disappear. So because one thing that I've noticed is because okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Had those beautiful tiger shrimp. They were doing really well. Had them for a few months. My grandson, the 3-year-old, somehow, while I wasn't home, and they have glass lids too and a light, figured out how to lift that lid up and dump a bunch of cereal or something in there. I don't even know what it was because by the time I saw it, it was all puffed up. It was a hot mess, like almost all over the whole 10-gallon. The bottom of it was covered. So I immediately tried to pull some of the driftwood out, some of the plants out, gravel back, did a water change. Then I went back the next day, same thing, but I was trying not to make the perimeter swing too much because these are Caridina shrimp. So I was just really careful. And at one point, I pulled the driftwood out. I did put it in some tank water, pulled up a lot of the plants because it was heavily planted. If you could see my previous videos, tried to gravel back a lot of that cereal out. And I couldn't see them at a time. A few of them were up and around. but I was really worried about it. Every day I was kind of keeping an eye on it. I don't know if it was because he had disturbed the tank they were hiding. So I thought that they died. I really did because I wasn't seeing them for like days at a time, weeks at a time, no shrimp. I wasn't seeing anything. Then I finally saw one and I was like, okay, he's going to be okay. I was really being real careful about doing any changes to the tank. I stopped feeding the tank because I thought anything that's left in there, the tank was seasoned, had lots of biofilm and algae and everything. And so I figured he would be okay for a while. I just didn't want to upset the water perimeters. Then I didn't see him for a long time. So I presumed that he was dead, that I lost all my shrimp. And I was really bummed out about it. I was talking to the breeder about it. He was like, things like that happen. Let me know when you get the tank back, going, reset the tank. I'll send you some more. And I was like, cool. I'm so sorry. I did so much work to prepare for those shrimp. Cycled the tank for 2 months, did everything to get it so they would have a good environment. And hey, Danica, good morning. Welcome. And so I was just really, really just bummed out about it. I didn't even want to, I don't think I talked about it for like weeks. I was just, and when something like that happens, people can be a little judgy, like why didn't why was it tanked up, blah 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 blah, whatever, whatever. And so, it was hard for me to even talk about it, but I wanted to be transparent because I think it's important for people to understand that things happen in the hobby, sometimes totally out of our control, no matter how you look at it. And so when I finally revealed that I had lost those shrimp, it was hard. It was hard because they're beautiful shrimp. They're fairly rare. They're wild type zebra um, caridinas. Beautiful, beautiful shrimp. You could check out my videos on them. So I was bummed out. I was really bummed out. And then while I was drip acclimating, trying to um, get the shrimp that I had to recover, I noticed this shrimp in the tank because I've kept it going. I've kept it cycled. I wasn't really doing water changes on it, but I was checking the perimeters. They were staying because shrimp don't have a huge bio load anyway, so the ammonia wouldn't have been off. There was tons of plants in there, and I left. A lot of the plants are floating because I pulled it up. I had a bunch of dwarf sage. I had some mosses in there, some Christmas moss, and some, I think Java moss might have been. I had some Rotella in there. I had some crenums, which are my favorite, one of my favorites. Well, Anubias is my favorite. But I love crenums too. They do well in my water. So it was a heavily planted tank. So the perimeters for the water was really good. The light fell in the, hey, good morning, Scott. Good morning, Scott. King and Queen Cichlids. And so, yeah, like I said, I kept the tanks cycled. Um, so the plan was to, you know, try to reset the tank somewhat, but I kept it going, kept the water levels where they should be, had a sponge filter in there. So apparently the shrimp that I did not know was in there were living off the biofilm, maybe any foods, that cereal or whatever was in there. They were just surviving. I mean, it's a great survival story. I don't recommend anybody do that, not feed their shrimp for a while, but they survived. And so there are three of them left, which was brought joy to my heart, knowing that three of them survived. It would have been better because I had some babies in there and they didn't survive. So that was really exciting. With all that said, um, it's just amazing how nature and how resilient those little shrimp were, um, considering all things considered. So, um, look for that video coming up. Like I said, that particular day was bittersweet because my shipment didn't survive. However, I did find those three tiger shrimp. So that's something that I'm looking forward to doing more videos on and keeping those. The breeder said that he's going to send me some more because I kind of looked at them. I'm not good at telling the gender of shrimp, but it looks like they might be all males. And so I'd like to really build up that colony. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, and of course, the fish room, for those of you who were not on the live stream, the fish room is in a forward progress moment. Um, that is very exciting. I finally got my sons to go in and clean everything out. Now I'm just waiting for the electrician to come in and run the new wires for the tanks. And of course, I will also have my handyman come in and put some insulation in one of the walls. Toughest part of running a YouTube channel is speaking the truth when something bad happened, and that's when you realize it takes real courage to run a channel because you have to be transparent. Absolutely, Scott. Absolutely. It's hard to because you know, as a society, people see failure as you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Oftentimes we have no control over it. And I think that we have failures in our lives oftentimes to teach us lessons. And so the lesson I got from it was, of course, to make sure that that tank is more secure. The 3-year old is not there anymore full time. So, I'm not concerned about anything else. The one thing I did do is, because what it made me think about was where I'm keeping my fish foods and anything that he could possibly get into up and away from him. So my fish foods and everything are kept on a shelf in my living room because that's where the tanks are, where they're all over the place, but primarily in the living room. So I made sure that I put up everything on the top shelf so he can't get to it. And anything else that he could possibly get to has been moved. Also, you have to hear the criticism of those from afar about what you did wrong in the aquatic moment. It can be tough to be judged from you. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Absolutely. Absolutely. People will always see through it, though. If you never seem to experience any issues, that's just not realistic. Better to be honest anyway. Keep it real. Absolutely, Zen Ginger. Absolutely. Well, I agree with you. Um, yeah, so this is what gets me, and this is something I think about as an aquascaper, because I follow a lot of aquascapers. You see these pristine tanks all the time. That's all you see is pristine tanks. Realistically, do people have pristine tanks with no algae, no diatoms, no anything? I have to go, Now, could be, but realistically, I've kept planting tanks for many years. At some point, something's going to go. It's going to go awry. You know, Scott, you owe me a Coke. I don't know what that's about, but anyway. So sometimes things are going to go awry. I mean, we're looking at those tanks possibly after they've had a good water change. The algae's been scraped off the walls. Anything, my biggest, what plagues my tanks, which I know is because of probably excess nutrients, which I think also had to do with me using a lot of root tabs in those tanks. I'm going to back off that. And of course, Father Fish talks about the deep substrate is hair algae. My 36-gallon bow front, we have battled the hair algae I got a mono shrimp. I don't have a lot, but I have 3 in there. The hair algae in that tank has been just a constant battle. So I've decided to black the tank out. I'm going to eventually cap it with sand to kind of keep some of that stuff out of the water column and hopefully battle that. I love that tank. It's a beautiful tank. I love the footprint of it. And so next Sunday is my birthday, Bob. I will be on live and send you a code. Oh, happy early birthday, Scott. That means you are a Pisces. Hmm. My husband's a Pisces. My mom was a Pisces. My son's birthday is the 20th. What day is that? I know it's coming up. Oh, so it's the 21st. Okay. Party over here. Party at Scott's place. Scott and Liz. So yeah, it just makes you wonder when you do see those perfect tanks and perfect scenarios all the time. Are they realistic? Could they be? Possibly. Are they? Maybe not. Is that all you want to show? Is everything is rosy all the time? Uh, whoo. Well, Scott, if that makes you old, that makes me older. I'm older than you, Scott. Hashtag OG Squad. Hello. Hey, D, good morning. Thanks for coming. So, yeah, so the fish room is on its way. Really excited about that. And so, when I get all those tanks in one place, and I'm going to try to do like a small rack for the shrimp tank and the others, because I have several small tanks. Um, then having everything centrally located, having it back in that room, hopefully will offset any of that. Like I said, even though he's not there anymore full time. So yeah, but that was pretty exciting to find those shrimp. That really made me feel a little bit better. It was not really negligence on my part, depending on how you look at it, but knowing that they survived, because for a month I did not feed that tank because I didn't think anything was in it. I kept it going, which is a lesson on breaking down tanks. I mean, I don't know where the shrimp were while I was rooting around in there. Like I said, they may have been hiding in the cholla wood, the driftwood, somewhere, but I did not see them at all. And I mean, I pulled up, very nice dwarf sage that was really rooted, had like roots going across the whole tank and disturbed that substrate, which made it super cloudy. Um, and maybe that's part of the reason why I couldn't see them while I was working in it. But I thought those shrimp had perished, and I was really sad about it. Working. Okay, Scott. Diva, you just said you have to be honest on your channel. You know you are there. Ah, I don't want to. Hey, real talk. I don't want to be 30 anymore. I didn't start really living my life till I was 40, and that's when I met my husband. My anything past behind anything from like 17 to like 40 was a hot mess. A lot of growth, a lot of lessons, a lot of mistakes, bad failed relationships. Mm, I no, I thank you, Scott, but I'm living my best life right now, even with everything that's going on. I'm happy. I'm content. I'm confident in myself. I know who I am. I know the type of people um, that I want to be around. Speaking of that, I got a great segue. So I've been talking to you guys. I was thinking about this driving home, which My car is my think tank. That's where I do my best thinking, I think, because I usually drive with no radio or anything, no noise. So it allows me to really, I also pray in my car. That's the first thing I do, first thing in the morning. Um, and so I have started. Good morning, Berries Visuals. Welcome. Thank you for coming. So I started a second channel. It's called Finding Your Village. It is one of my goals for 2020 is to get that channel up and running. I don't have a lot of subscribers. I don't have a lot of content on there, but it does have some life lessons on there. And so the reason why I brought that up is because when I'm talking about me being older, I have developed a concept. Well, not a concept because we've heard it takes a village a lot of times. They said to raise a child, I think it takes a village to be able to really be, what's the word I want to use? It takes a village for us to have a somewhat well-rounded, however you want to define that, life. Thank you. And so I started this channel last year and it just kind of hung. I talked to a friend who is a counselor about coming on and helping me talk. But basically, finding your village, and if you've never heard the proverb, it takes a village to raise a child, which has origins in both the African and the native culture. And what it talks about is, several people being involved in your life to help you develop mentors, sponsors, um, allies, and all that sort of thing, and how that can impact you. We all have villages, some small, some large. I have an amazing village. I can't tell you guys just it goes into the fish community as well. People like Bob, um, who I consider friends, Big Easy, Mark. Let's do a plug for Mark real quick. Big Easy support group. Mark is probably one of the most caring, most genuine, most he has brought a lot of joy in my life, and I appreciate his friendship. And so I have people like that, like Bob and Mark and others that are in the chat. Rob and I have become good friends. Rob sends me cool pictures of his little girl, which brings me joy, and others. And so the importance of having that village around you, people who support you, people who cheerlead you, love you also, Mark, Big Easy Support Group, people who are there for you, have an ear for you, and you just need to talk. Sometimes people talk about, well, I need somebody I need to talk to, and that is just what it is. It is just someone, a sounding board, so to speak. Just somebody, and they may not even say anything. They may just give you nods or a constant yes or no, or and also, that person's not going to always agree with you. And they're going to be very honest with you and let you know when you're messing up. You want at least one person in your life that's going to be keep it real, keep it 100, all those doggone sayings, to be able to let you know when you need to do correction, and someone who can do that, um, go big, and someone who can do that with a kind spirit and discerning spirit. So on my new channel, I'm going to be talking about that. With the changes in my life, it kind of set me back a little bit, but I'm not giving up. It is a 2020 goal of mine to really develop that channel. Have special guests. Like I said, I have friends who are counselors, and people who are in the profession that can talk to it. But basically, how you can build your village, people around you that can support you and help you to be successful. Now, Success is not only monetary, it is happiness, as best as that can be described. What your happiness looks like may not be what someone else's happiness looks like. Um, and the ability to just, you know, be productive, like I said, be successful, depending on what you think that looks like. Um, Nothing but love for you, beautiful. And of course, how could I not talk about my Nessa Boo, who is also a good friend. And just a sweetheart. If you don't know Nessa, get to know Nessa. She's got a great channel too. And they keep a lot of cold water tapes like I do. So we have that, and her wonderful husband, Brandon. We can't leave Brandon out because that's part of her village. So back to the village thing. And so what I believe is, I have a village of people around me that support me, cheerlead me. Um, some provide resources, be it monetary or not so much monetary, but just resources. For example, I am part of a village, and I help people with their taxes. I have been doing taxes since I was 17 years old. I was taught in high school, personal taxes, that is. I don't like business taxes, that's too complicated. Or a person that has some type of gift that can help you. What do they bring to the table? Now, with that said, as a member of a village, you also should bring something to the table. And we all have very unique gifts. And what gifts can we bring? Are we a good listener? Are we a good financially, good budgeter? Do we give good advice? Do we, are we resourceful? Able to get resources and gather resources, and whatever it is, those people that are in your life, it's good to have that sound village. And the reason why I started this, Maple Street Because, is why I have my channel. Yes, the reason why I started this is because, so many of you know, I work in higher education and I work with students more closely now than ever. Um, I've been in higher ed going on 14 years. I have come across thousands of students, um, even smaller group of students that I mentor. And a lot of what I was hearing from students based on certain things is, I don't have any support. And that was heartbreaking to hear a student tell me, I don't have any support. My family is whatever, whatever. My friends are da 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 da. I feel like I'm all alone. I'm doing this by myself. And so, of course, those are students that I've, of course, have been drawn to as far as mentorship, being a mentor and a sponsor. And I'll talk about that. Um, and my response to them was, build your village. How do you find your village? Everybody that's in your life shouldn't doesn't have a place in your life. If someone's constantly bringing drama to your life, if someone's constantly wanting you to do something, if someone is, maybe they shouldn't be in your village. And so, Anthony's Fish and Things, friends, thank you, welcome. Um, and so that's what really sparked me to start that channel. And so I journal about it. Rhonda Robb, hello, good morning. Um, First Saturday you haven't, well, good for you. Hope you enjoy it and have a great enjoy. And so that's what really made me start this whole conversation. And I want to expand upon it because I think it's something that's needed. I see a need for it. Um, Meeting these students and getting to know these students, I think, is a microcosm of possibly the 21st century society. Um, a lot of family structures are different now. Um, and just the whole, just our society in general has changed significantly since I was young. And so my way of giving back, I am good at kicking people out of my village, not as good at letting people in. I understand that, D. And I think after a while, down the wormhole, I think after a while, we just become a little guarded, depending on what we've been through. I'm somewhat guarded myself. Um, my village is not big. It's actually, um, small. However, it's mighty. It's mighty. I have people. Prime example. I was going through something a couple of months ago. Um, Probably through the whole transition of becoming the guardian of a 5-year-old, and I was struggling, guys. I'm gonna keep it real. And I'm getting a little emotional just thinking about it because I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I have health issues, you know, but that's fine. And so in a moment of whatever you want to call it, a weakness or whatever, which is okay. Um, I just was just struggling. And then my girlfriend, my good girlfriend, called me. It's like she just picked up on it and called me. And she says, you've been on my mind. Um, we hadn't talked in a couple of weeks because she's got her own things going on. Um, how you doing? And I broke down. I keep it 100 with you guys. I broke down, and she and I just had a great conversation. Sand Creek Aquatics, welcome. Um, and so once I talked to her, I felt so much better because she is very logical, very spiritual, great listener. She was like, okay, we're gonna do this. This is gonna happen. Whatever, whatever. And just having that support, custom wheel horse tractor, Eric 83, welcome, hello. And so I'm sorry if I miss anybody in the chat. I'm trying to watch the chat, but as they say, if I try looking at the chat, I get distracted. But welcome, welcome, and thank you so much for coming. And so, having that person in my life, okay, Bob, really, really has made an impact. She has been a great. She and I met because she was my coworker, and I used to call her my talk me down person. Do you have a talk me down person that's part of your village? That talk me down person, that person that comes when you are like fired up and like ready to just go in, and that person goes, that may not be a good idea, or chill out or whatever. Having that talk me down person is really important in your village, especially if you're like me. I am extremely passionate about everything I do. When I go in, I go in. Um, and so having a talk me down person for me is really important. And she's my talk me down person. And so, and even though she's going through something really traumatic in her life, she centered me and helped me call what people call my true north. She's just a very, very great resource for me. And like when she and I were talking and she was telling me what she was going through, I provided some insight and resources for her as well. So it's a give and take. So finding your village is not just about um, what what people can bring to the table, but also what can you bring to the table. So it's a two-way street. It's give and take. It's like, how can you support them? How can you What can you provide? And we all have resources. You might look around and say, well, I really don't have anything to offer, but yes, you do. We are each put here with a special gift. And sometimes it takes us a while to find out what it is. Sometimes it's not real obvious. But as we grow and develop, um, we can find that gift. And so, Diva, when we adopted two of our kids in Chicago, we took a course called It Takes a Village to Raise a Child. The teacher's name was Elaine Gaither, and she was a positive force in our lives in those days. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, that concept of It Takes a Village has been around. It's not a new concept. But when they say it takes a village to raise a child, I can just abbreviate that and says it takes a village because we are all still growing and developing. And so a lot of people say, want to believe that, hey, Sean, welcome, welcome. And so, too stubborn. Wait a minute. What's Amber saying? For my own good. Okay, Amber. But where was I? Oh, that whole concept, we're all growing and developing. And one thing that I believe, and this is how I live my life, is I'm a lifelong learner. I will never personally believe that I'm a certain age, in which I am a woman of a certain age, that, I know it all. I've done it all. I've seen it all. No, I will learn until I am no longer here. I'm learning new lessons every day. And one of the things that I really enjoy about working with young people is they're teaching me new things every day. It's just from conversations and just overall, and I love being around young people because um, it's just very refreshing. I love having conversations with them. One of the things um, that is unsettling for me is the stereotype about some of our Z generation or our millennials. Listen, guys. The students that I work with and the young people that I encounter inspire me every day. They're very socially conscious. They care about their environments and the environment. They want to make sure that they're. Good morning, William. Welcome to the stream. Thanks so much for coming. They're very socially active. They're very um, engaged. They do a lot of volunteering. Um, a lot of the one thing that really surprised me, I guess, kind of surprised me is a lot of our students shop at thrift stores, not because they don't have the money to spend on $100 pair of pants or whatever, but they just like a lot of the vintage stuff. Um, they feel as though it's part of conservation for them. It is very economical, of course, because we have great thrifts. I love to go to thrift stores. I don't go quite as much as I like to. And sometimes it's a great place to find tanks too, guys. Um, and so they inspire me a great deal. They just, it now I came from corporate America and Department of Defense. I worked with the Department of Defense for many years, both of us as a contractor and a government employee. And then I worked in private sector in media for many years in communications. But being in higher ed has taught me a lot of lessons. Love thrift shopping. Going there today. Have lots of kids' clothes to drop off. Okay, yeah. Hopefully, I've got some donations too from my from the stuff we cleaned out of the fish room. So give our young people a chance, support them, um, continue to, mentor, sponsor. And when I say sponsor, so mentoring and sponsoring are like kind of two different things. But I've officially, overnight, my glasses have disappeared and I have no spares, no contacts. I shall now proceed in life. Oh no, Amber, I hope you find them. So, me personally, talking about glasses, my husband says I have. So, if you are of a certain age, you remember Fred Sanford? Fred Sanford had a little drawer that had like 50 pairs of glasses in it. I've become that person. Um, my eyesight, I don't have bad eyesight, but I do need glasses to read. And so, and then I like, now you all usually will see me in these, but I also have like different colors to go with different outfits and da 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 da. So thank goodness I always have some, they call them peepers around. But anyway, back to the whole sponsorship thing. So a sponsor is someone not only that mentors to you, but also, and I'm going to be talking about this kind of stuff when I finally can get my other channel up and going and doing some videos. Somebody that kind of pulls you along as well. So that person may not only just recommend you for a job, but help you get a job, or, not just, mentor you as far as getting the job, but may have some impact on the hiring decision, um, may be able to put in a good word for you as a reference. And so that's what sponsorship is. That's a great organization, D. Ha ha ha. If I smack anyone with a cane, you know my excuse. Yes, Rounded Rob, glasses are stylish and I love them. I get those emails from, I think it's called peepers.com or something like that. And I'm always like, ooh, and then I have to remind myself, you don't need any more glasses. Oh, this is a big one, Elizabeth. Yes, yes. You remember that, Zen? Well, he had a drawer full of glasses. I mean, just tons and tons and tons. So, anyway, now that I've talked about my new channel, if you want to subscribe, do look for content soon. I'm finally getting back to some whatever normal looks like in my life. Normal looks different from other people. We've got the young man on a routine, getting him settled, things like that. As you can see, he's a handful. Oh my God, he's a handful. But he's a sweetheart. He comes and hugs me every day and says, "I love you." I mean, he's just like a little figure of clay, and it's up to me and my husband and his village to kind of mold him. He's very moldable. Um, that's our role. And we're gonna do our best he's been through a lot. I'm not gonna get into details, but he's been through a lot as a little boy. And so um we're gonna mold him, get school together. Like right now, the big thing is, I hate school. I love school. I hate school. I love, that's the struggle we've got going on right now. But, as he matures and everything and really gets into it, he's very smart, very intelligent. I mean, just very doing really well as far as that is concerned. Very wise for as much as wise as a five. Sometimes he asks me questions, I go, okay. Then I have to think about it for a while. It's like, where did that come from? They're always taken in. They are surrounded by so many different things and so many stimuli and so many different things that are impacting them. So and like I said, why? That's a three-letter word because he asked me why him and his papa, why all day. And that's just part of his development. So same member, I can cook breakfast, half asleep, yet barely carry conversation. Oh my God, I need +5 intelligence and started laughing. Yeah, so I mean, it it it's a challenge, but now that I'm finally kind of getting some, as best, knock on wood, as best I can, because things are always evolving, always changing. I will try to get that channel, get some more content on that channel. And like I said, I'm going to have some guests. I've got one in particular, like I said, who's a counselor lined up. She's ready to go whenever I am. It's just I've got to find the time. And hopefully it will be of help to you guys, and have some good content. Diva got to lurk while getting ready to leave. Ed and James had to cancel going to see Susan today. So Ro and I are meeting up and taking her 11-year-old son some places with fish. Oh, that sounds exciting. And like we say, if it's no video, it didn't happen. Just kidding. I would love to see it. I'm glad you're able to meet up with Ro. I'm like, and we've talked. And is Rob still here? So we've been talking about a Midwest meetup. So hopefully that will happen this year. That will be really cool. And so, yeah, so anybody lives in our tri-state area, Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois. I think that's the tri-state. I don't know, Kentucky, whatever, Midwest, whatever you consider that. Please think about joining us. I guess we can start planning that to see where we'll all meet, and just get together and just sit around and talk fishy stuff. Yep. Okay. So anyway, so I've been on here for an hour and a half. Unless anybody has any questions or comments or anything you want to discuss, not many of us in Kentucky. Right, Sean? Well, hey, we can include you all. That could be part of the tri-state. We could say in because Indiana, Rob and Oddball Haley are in Indiana. I'm in Ohio and Kentucky. That could be tri-state. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I really want to. I've ordered fish. Well, in case you all don't know, Oddball Aquatics. Haley now works for Aquatic Arts, which I think is awesome because I've bought from them before. I think they have great customer service. Um, Thank you, Zen Ginger. Appreciate that. Yes, we are watching playlist. We are supporting Candy Overhauls and praying, definitely praying for Tracy at Ohio Fish Rescue. But we are doing playlist raids, supporting each other. Matter of fact, once I shut this down, I will have a playlist running on my laptop. I can do it. Um, it can run all day while I'm running errands or doing whatever. So that will be happening. Trying to support, get our community, our fish friends and family to their goals. Um, like I said, I have been running at least two different playlists, sometimes three, and that's Kayla Aquatics and Rob 93. Rob is really close. So please consider watching his playlist. Really appreciate it. Bye, Diva. Have a great weekend. All other good people of YouTube. Thank you, Big Easy. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. So I'm going to go on. Like I said, I've been going for an hour and a half. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me on in this impromptu stream. I never know how many people select pet. Hello. Did I say hello to you? Hey, how you doing? Um, And so these impromptu streams I've been doing all week, I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. I really had a really cute little, I'm going to show you what I had that I would try to use for my thumbnail, but it just didn't work. But as a parting gesture, I'm going to show you guys. Hopefully you can see it. Hold on, hold on. Here, I'm just going to bring it up. Hope you can see that. Let's see. Up, up, up. Ha ha ha. There you go. Just being around you makes me happy. So, and that is a true sentiment. That was my card from my husband, which was really sweet, very simply stated. But just being around you guys makes me happy. Thank you so much for coming. Look for the live go. If you're not a member, join FishTubers Notification Squad. Mr. B, thank you again for all your work in that group, making sure we all stay on top of all the streams today. Please check out, show love for love is Susan. Hey Susan, if you're watching this in the replay, show love for love. New England Inler, thanks for coming. I just saw you. And if I missed you, I'm sorry. As I always say, please charge it to my head and not my heart, because I really love our supporters. Thank you for everything that you do for me. Thank you for watching my videos and viewing my playlist. I really appreciate it. 14 here, 19 likes. Thank you so much. And as always, keep it splashy, not trashy. Diva out. Bye bye.